Unbelievable, breathtaking, and completely unpredictable. That is the only way to describe the absolute roller coaster that was the Gridiron Campaign. Today, we are strapping in to relive the most explosive, heart-stopping plays that defined this unforgettable year, counting down the iconic moments that had every single fan screaming at the top of their lungs. Before we dive into the epic Gridiron memories, make sure to smash that like button, share this video with your fellow football fanatics, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a single update. Let us kick things off with a moment that flew completely under the radar but proved to be absolutely vital in the grand scheme of the season. Picture this. Late in the fourth quarter against Minnesota, the game is hanging in the balance, a situation that never should have been this close in the first place. Out of nowhere, Devin Duvernay electrifies the stadium by fielding a kickoff deep at the 4-yard line and bursting through the coverage unit. 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, he maps his way all the way down to the opponent's 30-yard line. Up until this precise second, the return game had been completely stagnant, leaving fans completely starved for a spark. The coverage teams had slowly been improving, but everyone was waiting for Duvernay to finally bust one open. While he consistently started hitting the 30 and 35-yard lines more regularly after this spark, it was clear the front office wanted even more explosive juice in the offseason, which explains why they brought in dynamic weapons like Khalif Raymond and Xavion Thomas later on to completely revamp the depth chart. The truly maddening part of that specific divisional showdown was that Minnesota had absolutely no business remaining competitive. Both regular season matchups were heavily controlled by our squad, yet a fourth quarter collapse in the first game and a mountain of left points in the second kept the tension sky high. Thankfully, just a few snaps after this massive special teams burst, Cairo Santos stepped up and drilled the game-winning field goal through the uprights, successfully securing a crucial split against our division rivals. Have you ever seen a young quarterback completely dismantle a legendary defensive mind with such cold-blooded precision? That brings us to our next moment, where the phenomenal Caleb Williams absolutely torched the defense of his former head coach, Matt Eberflus, by tossing a spectacular 4 touchdowns in a single afternoon. The blitz package brought heavy 6-man pressure, but the protection held up beautifully as Williams stood tall in the pocket, fired to the left boundary, and found Rome Odunze in the end zone to open up an early 6-0 lead. But the offensive coordinator was far from finished experimenting with the playbook. Moments later, Williams lined up under center, executed a brilliant flea flicker, and launched a deep absolute moonshot downfield into the waiting hands of Luther Burden III. The rookie weapon hauled it in and sprinted standard distance for an incredible 65-yard trick play touchdown, pushing the lead to 13-3. The play calling was pure, unadulterated blood sport at this point. A textbook play-action fake allowed Williams to scan the end zone and zip a bullet to Cole Kmet, marking the young quarterback's third touchdown pass of the first half alone and expanding the advantage to 23-4. Then, facing a high-stakes 4th-and-goal scenario from the 4-yard line, Williams climbed the pocket, rolled out to his right on the run, and floated a pristine pass to a wide-open DJ Moore. That made 4 touchdowns on the day, extending the score to an embarrassing 30-4 right before the final frame. This absolute masterclass quietly served as the turning point of the season. We easily could have highlighted the incredible moment where Tariq Stevenson violently stripped the football away from Javonte Williams right when the opposition was driving to score. But watching Williams secure his true breakout game under this offensive system while completely embarrassing Eberflus, who eventually had to settle for an assistant role in San Francisco, was pure poetic justice. This brings us to the most controversial talking point of the entire year, and it is time for our question of the day. Do you think letting go of the previous coaching staff was the single greatest decision this franchise has made in the last decade, or did the players simply elevate a bad situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments section down below right now, because I want to see a war in the comments over this one. Moving forward through our countdown, we revisit the night Caleb Williams completely iced a massive victory in Philadelphia after our physical running game spent the entire afternoon absolutely bludgeoning the Birds on their own turf. With the game on the line, the offense dialed up a play-action bootleg, and instead of taking the safe check down to the flat where DeAndre Swift was standing completely uncovered, Williams took the ultimate gamble. He scanned the second level, spotted Kmet slipping out past the secondary, and lofted a gorgeous, high-arcing touchdown pass right over the top of the defense. That heroic throw put the team up 23-9 with just over 6 minutes remaining, effectively silencing the hostile away crowd. Honestly, this stood out as the most flawless, complete team performance of the entire campaign. Going into the home stadium of the reigning conference champions on a massive Black Friday stage and racking up an astonishing 281 rushing yards was pure dominance. The game plan completely exposed their defensive coordinator, as both Swift and the supporting backs found massive running lanes all game long. Even though Williams had an up-and-down statistical performance throughout the afternoon, his ability to execute in field goal range without making a catastrophic mistake proved his maturity. Seeing Kmet break free and watching that ball drop perfectly out of the sky proved to the entire football world that this team was a legitimate championship contender. Next, we witnessed the exact moment a superstar moniker was officially forged in the fires of the fourth quarter, giving birth to the legend of the Iceman. It was an incredibly ugly, gritty affair where the team found themselves staring down a daunting 20-10 deficit late in the game. For the majority of the afternoon, opposing quarterback Jackson Dart was actually making the flashier plays and outperforming our young signal caller before he unfortunately got knocked out of the contest. But when the fourth quarter arrived, Williams went absolutely unconscious. After orchestrating a furious drive fueled by a spectacular scramble up the sidelines, he threw a perfect strike to Oduns to trim the deficit to a mere 3 points. After the defensive unit came up with a massive stop to hand the ball back to the offense, Williams took matters into his own hands. Running a bootleg to the left, he turned the corner with blistering speed, picked up the first down, and carried defenders over the goal line for a thrilling 17-yard rushing touchdown to seize the lead with just over a minute left on the clock. The post-game locker room was electric, and when Burton later commented the word Iceman on social media, the fanbase completely ran with it. It was a massive, season-saving victory against a desperate squad whose head coach, Brian Daboll, was promptly fired immediately following the loss. Finally, we look back at the precise moment rookie tight end Colston Loveland officially announced his arrival to the elite tier of professional football with a near walk-off touchdown in Cincinnati. Facing a fierce four-man rush, Williams took the snap, stood firm, and fired a bullet directly up the seam. Loveland hauled it in, violently broke a tackle, and turned on the Jets for a spectacular 58-yard touchdown to recapture the lead at 47-42 with only 17 seconds remaining. It was absolute insanity that the game had even reached that level of desperation. Our squad held a seemingly insurmountable 41-27 lead with 5 minutes left, and we all thought Tremaine Edmonds sealed it with a 98-yard pick-six off Joe Flacco. Tragically, the replay showed he was touched down by a literal fingernail, bringing the entire play back. A subsequent 3-and-out backed up near our own goal line allowed the opponents to score, recover a surprise onside kick, score again, and successfully convert a high-stakes 2-point conversion. The stadium was in a state of pure shock. But with the clock ticking down, Williams converted a massive 15-yard scramble on a crucial 3rd and 10 before delivering the definitive seam strike to Loveland on the very next play. Watching the rookie act like a human bowling ball, bouncing off defenders to take it the distance, proved he is going to be a problem for opposing defenses for a very long time. Looking back at the honorable mentions that barely missed our top list, we have to acknowledge the absolute electricity of the early weeks. Remember that opening drive against Minnesota where Williams made a breathtaking throw to Oduns on the run along the right sideline before rushing in for a score. In that exact same game, Jalen Wright recorded a massive pick-six to put the team up 17-6, making it feel like the game was fully out of reach before a frustrating fourth-quarter collapse against J. McCarthy ruined the fun. Then there was Monday Night Football in San Francisco, where J. Edwards intercepted a pass and took it to the house on the literal opening drive of the game, setting the tone even though the team couldn't secure the final victory. We also can't forget Williams braving the sub-zero freezing weather to roll out to his right and fire a physics-defying touchdown pass into the back of the end zone, where Moore climbed the ladder over a defender to make the catch. And finally, when the team was struggling out in Washington, Swift caught a simple out route, made a defender look completely foolish in space, and exploded 60 yards down the sideline for a crucial touchdown that sparked a massive victory. The season gave us memories that will last a lifetime, and the remaining top moments are going to be even more insane. To wrap things up today, I want to hear from every single one of you in the comments section below. If you had to look back at the entire absolute roller coaster of a season and pinpoint the one singular moment that defined this squad's identity, what would it be? Was it the ice-cold precision of the late-game comebacks, the brute force of our dominant rushing attack on the road, or the explosive emergence of our rookie playmakers stepping up when the lights were the brightest. We have seen this franchise undergo an absolutely massive transformation over the past year, transitioning from a team looking for answers to a squad that actively dictates the terms of the game to the rest of the league. Every single week presented a new obstacle, whether it was dealing with the immense pressure of divisional rivalries, overcoming double-digit deficits on the road, or handling the intense media scrutiny that naturally follows a highly touted young quarterback. But time and time again, the resilience of this roster shined through, proving that the foundation being built here is built to last. The strategic shifts we witnessed, from the dramatic changes in the coaching staff to the brilliant off-season acquisitions that added pure speed and depth to special teams and the secondary, have completely altered our trajectory. It feels like we are standing on the precipice of a completely new era of football dominance, and this countdown is just a small sample size of the greatness we can expect moving forward. Make sure you keep the discussion going down in the comments, hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, and get ready because the absolute best moments are still yet to come. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will catch you on the very next breakdown.